All through the night, promise to see
Yahshua.
in the morning light. Take my hand, it'll be alright. Come on, save your soul tonight.
Why do you take the stance of actually divulging this information?
Well, I think I'm somewhat protected in a certain way because if you mix biblical with science, they feel that they can discredit you and you won't reach a very, very large audience whenever you blend the two. And I point out clearly the scientific method that I'm using, and it qualifies the data. What's the difference between clay tablets, papyrus, or biblical? If you're using the same method, which is empirical, and the models are proving out, why would bias on one but not the other?
Whether you believe in the Bible or not are irrelevant to Gill's research. The fact that Gill's scientific methods and models prove out multiple and specific events in the Bible is what truly piqued my interest. Throughout Gill's interview, I felt it was time for what a lot of people have been curious to know. Where and how does Planet X 7X correlate to the Bible?
But there is something that's outside our science realm, which is the biblical section of Revelation that matches the model. It doesn't violate the model. It describes the half of the earth that will be hit because they didn't have a word for continental crust, but they're describing continental crust. They said 1/3 of the trees, 1/3 of the grass, and later they say 1/3 of the rivers. So it's already given us indication what half is hit by fiery hail, as they call it, which is our way of saying meteor shower. The astronomers, if they use the astronomy model with a gravity universe, then they'll predict just a straight-on hit. But if they don't use a physics model, and the only place there is a model that shows how Earth is going to slow down by 12 hours is a biblical model that follows the physics principle that the tail of a comet is plasma.
So there's a biblical model.
Yes, that follows that model when the tail is plasma and Earth is entering it. You have a 12-hour delay in Earth's rotation. That changes the target zone to the opposite side.
Where in the Bible are we talking about?
Joshua's long day. Okay.
Joshua 10, verse 11 through 13. And it happened as they fled before Yisrael and were on the descent of Beth-horon, that Yah cast down large hailstones from heaven on them as far as Akai, and they died. There were more who died from the hailstones than the children of Israel killed with the sword. Then Joshua spoke to Yah in the day when Yah delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand still over Gibeon, and moon in the valley of Ajalon. So the sun stood still, and the moon stopped, till the people had revenge upon their enemies. Is this not written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and did not hasten to go down for about a whole day.
Okay, Joshua, long day. There was a 12-hour extended daylight. On the opposite side, you had 12 extra hours of nighttime. Earth came to a stop, but the way it stopped was gradual, losing 4.5 to 5.5% compounded hourly. You just like a dimmer switch, and it just came to a nice little stop. And he had a 12-hour extended day.
Again, I was curious about this statement because it's an account that many Christians debate as proof of the Bible, but have never really been able to prove through a model, at least not until Gill's research. Joshua's long day is one of the many accounts that are also referenced throughout many other cultures, and since Joshua's long day is historical, There should be accounts on the other side of the world of people who should have written about an extended long night. In fact, my research found that in New Zealand, the Maori people have a myth about their hero, Maui, who slowed the sun before it rose, while the Mexican annals of Cuauhtelan, the history of the empire of Cuacan and Mexico, records a night that continued for an extended time. There is also an urban myth that keeps popping up, is that NASA scientists were using computer models to check planetary positions and discovered that a day was missing from history. However, this alleged research was never published and has greatly been embellished over the years.
With all this information, do we know what side, if it has a comet or like a tail, and it's going to kind of bring about, meteor showers, that these asteroids are going to start hitting the Earth when this planet gets closer? Or can we model out, or is there something that could give us an indication or gives us an indication of which side we should probably focus on?
But there is something that's outside our science realm, which is the biblical section of Revelation, that matches a model. It doesn't violate the model. It describes the half of the Earth that will be hit, because they didn't have a word for continental crust, but they're describing continental crust. They said 1/3 of the trees, 1/3 of the grass, and later they say 1/3 of the rivers. When you look at the Earth as a globe, and you realize in the model only half of the Earth is hit, because the other half that is shielded from the meteor bombardment, and only half of the Earth can be hit. So what half of the Earth has 1/3 of the continental crust? That is North and South America. Europe, Asia, and the African continent, that's 2/3 of the continental crust.
It happened before. It will happen again. It's just a question of when.
Scream in terror, for the day of the Lord has arrived. The time for the Almighty to destroy. Every arm is paralyzed with fear. Every heart melts, and people are terrified. Pangs of anguish grip them like those of a woman in labor. They look helplessly at one another, their faces aflame with fear. For see, the day of the Lord is coming, the terrible day of his fury and fierce anger. The land will be made desolate, and all the sinners destroyed with it.
I watched as the Lamb opened the first of the 7 seals. Then I heard one of the 4 living creatures say in a voice like thunder,
Come and see!
Then everyone, the kings of the earth, the rulers, the generals, the wealthy, the powerful, and every slave and free person, all hid themselves in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains. And they cried to the mountains and the rocks,
Fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of their wrath has come, and who can withstand? Everything they built will fall, and from the ashes of their world, we'll build a better one. Goddamn America! Goddamn America! Goddamn America!
I saw the end of the world. I could feel all this death.
And so what's after the Exodus is Joshua's long day. This we can prove out scientifically with this model again.
For millennium, scientists have been laughing at that because They said, how is that possible? How can the Earth stop? You'd have waters going across all the continents. Well, let me tell you how the models tells us it happens.
Okay.
There's two camps of theory on what is ruling the universe. The astronomers say gravity is ruling the planets. The physicists say it's electromagnetic in nature. The story of Joshua proves out that the universe is ruled by electromagnetic, not gravity. Because if it had been gravity ruled, it would have grabbed us and carried us out into a further orbit, and we would have froze to death. End of story. There'd been no more stories to write. Okay? If we have electromagnetic, guess what they would do? They would attract like two magnets. That's exactly what happens.
Right.
In the stories.
It was this understanding that led the Thunderbolts Project's chief science advisor, Wal Thornhill, to successfully predict the advanced electrical flash that stunned NASA investigators when an 800-pound copper projectile collided with the comet Tempel 1 in 2005. For in the electric universe, comets acquire a, quote, negative charge with respect to the sun in their time at the outer reaches of the solar system. Cometary activity increases as the comet experiences a rapidly rising voltage differential in its environment. The electrical phenomena associated with comets may be critical in advancing astronomy to a better understanding of our electric universe.
Well, if that's true, then, to prove out which one would be right, if the tail is pointing at Earth when it gets between us and the sun, and we're entering water vapor, then nothing should occur. But if we're entering a plasma tail, the plasma will stop electrical energy going into the north and south pole from the sun at a rate of 4.5 to 5.5% compounded hourly. Okay? Within 24 to 28 hours of entering it deeper and deeper into the plasma tail, Earth would come to a complete stop in its rotational spin. Okay? And then that would cause a 12-hour longer day as quoted in Joshua's long day.
So it's already given us indication what half is hit by fiery hail, as they call it, which is our way of saying meteor shower. When you look at the Earth as a globe, and you realize in the model only half of the Earth is hit because the other half that is shielded from the meteor bombardment, and only half of the Earth can be hit. So what half of the Earth has 1/3 of the continental crust? That is North and South America. Europe, Asia, and African continent, that's 2/3 of the continental crust.
And one of the interesting things to contemplate here is the ancient cultures, as we read, the ancient pagan cultures, were terrified of the planet Mars. Why were these ancient cultures, who had less, sophistication than we have, less interest in space, and we think of massive.
Why were they obsessed by it?
They were obsessed. They, in fact, really terrified. They had priesthoods. They had whole rites that were organized. And one of the reasons we discover is apparently, there's evidence that the planet Mars interfered in their lives on a periodic basis, so much so as to destroy cities and so forth.
I cannot tell you who I am, or how I was able to obtain the photos. All I can say for now is that these photos are very real. These objects are heading towards us, and they will become visible to every human on Earth within the next couple of years. This is a matter of national security, and the governments of the world are trying their best to prevent global panic. They are also trying their best on how to deal with this unavoidable event.